Yeah, welcome to Nigeria Superfans Forum. My name is Olafemi Ashalu, and this is a preview of the World Cup semi-final that will be taking place on Wednesday between Morocco and the Blues, the French team, the defending champion of the FIFA World Cup. Welcome, James Agberebi and Kado Gundare. They are here and they join me via video. Welcome to the preview, guys. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, Femi.
All right. Okay, so again, like I said the last time, Africa is maybe perhaps on the cusp of a history because if Morocco could have come this far, who says Morocco cannot get to the final and of course even win the FIFA World Cup for the very first time. But before then, they have a big mountain to climb. Of course, they overcame Spain, Portugal. They've taken Portugal out of the way. Now they have the Blues too contend with, and it is going to be a different ball game entirely. And of course, we've still not heard from the camp of the Moroccans if a number of key players that are injured would be available for that game. We've not heard about Romai Sars and of course a couple of other guys, because I know that maybe Walid Regragui is just trying to keep his cards close to his chest. But anyway, the show has to go on. Okay, let's talk about this, James. Yesterday you couldn't reach you, but the Moroccan government, they are trying to rally support for the Atlas Lions, and they've launched 30 extra return flights for fans from Moroccans who want to go to Qatar to cheer the team. And of course, the Royal Air Maroc, they have launched 30 extra return flights for the fans. I was thinking that Morocco already had all the support they needed, because it seems like to them, it seems like they're playing right at home. Do you think this is going to be very good for them against France, or they'll be needing something else?
Well, I think honestly, I don't even know if it's necessary to. But you know, everybody is in the mood, so whatever is done now, I mean, it's just to make sure the team gets all the support that they need. Playing in Qatar is like playing at home. You know, they've been at home, the support and everything. Whatever opponent they face, you think they are playing in Morocco. You know, so maybe the government just want to give them this final push, and maybe be able to help them. Even if you check out, even in Belgium, you know, we have a Moroccan community in Belgium. You know, when they defeated Belgium, you saw what happened. They were kind of mini, you know, what I call the riot. You know, all of the excitement and everything. So, the government just trying to assist the team in their own little way. You know, maybe they feel sending more fans from home. Maybe that will give them that boost, because every game they played, the Moroccan supporters have dominated. Do you think they are playing in their their famous national stadium? You know, so well, there's nothing wrong in it. Everybody's excited. Everything is getting towards helping Morocco to make it to the final. Though they have some injury worries, and we don't know if size will make the semi-final, and they're going to miss their striker, Chedira, who got a red card. You know, so I mean, I know the coach will be working seriously now to bring in a suitable replacement. So the government shows that everybody is excited that the team has come this far, and what better way to support them and to you know, add more support. And if it means taking over the whole stadium, I mean, they are ready to do that. You know, so a good one for them, and I hope the support they will get from the fans coming from home will push them more to, you know, to overcome the French. They're going to be very difficult, because it's a French team that's built into this competition, and it's going to take a very good performance to stop them now.
All right, Kayode, you know, Brazil football legend Ronaldo de Lima is maybe not really taken by how far Morocco has come in this tournament, because he's insisting that the French team are the favorite to win this World Cup. Do you agree with that, especially considering the number of upsets that we've seen in this tournament? Do you think that the Deschamps boys are the favorite will be the favorite going into that game, as well as favorite to win this competition?
Yeah, Femi, of the 4 teams left in the competition, the French team seems a little bit much more balanced than the other 3, even though you have this sneaky feeling that they've not operated at their maximum capacity. All their games, they've just done enough to win games. They've not been really tested. You just have this feeling that they have more where that came from. Even in the semi-final against England, they went up 1-0, England equalized, and they went right ahead to score again. So it shows a team that is like totally in control. It shows a team that has ability, it has power, and it has control. You remember that advert, what's power without control? They seem to have the handbrake on, that they know, you know what, let's not overstress things. Keep it simple, do what you need to do, and get out of the place with a win. Yeah, well, despite everything that Morocco have done, they are still underdogs compared to France. Let's not lose sight of that. I don't want us to be carried away, Femi. They are still underdogs. And everybody loves the underdog. We want this fairy tale to continue for as long as it can. If you ask me, I want them to defeat Morocco, to defeat France on Wednesday. Yeah, that's my earnest desire. But the facts on the ground, the available facts on the front, do they support my wish? Because my wish is not going to be a fact. It is simply my opinion. Do the facts on the ground support that? Player for player, I think the French have slightly better players. But what the Moroccans are going for them is the energy and the momentum and the support of the people. So that brings me back to your question to James. Do they need that extra support? Yeah, they need every support that they can get. As long as that support is not intrusive, Femi, the supporters are coming to the stadium to cheer them. They are not a delegation that will go and disturb the players in the locker room and be giving instructions to the coach. That's the I'm not trying to I'm just saying that this support is not intrusive. They are going to be in the stadium to cheer them. That's where it starts and that's where it's going to end. Unlike some other places where we see that there will be a so-called government delegation that will come and they will go right into the dressing room to go and be making money, financial promises, to be giving instructions to coaches, to be giving instructions to the players. You shoot with your left leg and you head with your right leg. All sorts and manners of coaches, you see them coming to the team. At this time, the players will get distracted, they will lose focus. That has not happened. So for me, if it's possible for the whole the whole country of Morocco to be bossed, to put everybody in a bus and take them to Qatar to support their national team, so be it, Femi. I do not see that as anything wrong. It is extra support will always be welcome. I support that.
Okay. Kari, you said something yesterday yesterday at the World Cup. I'm still going to come back to that when I ask you a particular response to the question. James, let's go into the proper now. At the press conference yesterday, Rafael Varane was asked if he thinks that Morocco have been lucky getting to this stage at the World Cup. And of course, Kari and I extensively discussed the issue of some people saying Morocco have been lucky, and Rafael Varane said no. And quickly, I read a quote. Then you react to that. He said, "If Morocco are through to the semi-final of the World Cup, it is not long. It is going to be a very difficult game." He said, "We are going to have to really fight hard." He said, "We have a lot of experienced players in this team, not to fall into the trap of thinking we are favorite." So maybe Varane is saying, no, we are not favorite." But James, do you agree also that Morocco have been lucky, or do you think otherwise?
No, they've not been lucky. Check out all the teams they've played. They've played the heavyweights. Aside from they drew. Remember, they drew. Their opening game was against Croatia, last World Cup's finalist. They drew 0-0. They defeated Belgium. They now defeated the United States. Then from there, they've been playing against the heavyweights. Defeated Spain, defeated Portugal. So where's the luck in that? They've had a difficult run to the semi-final compared to England, who will be beating the likes of Iran. They've beaten they've just been having fun. Compared to Morocco, who have to go through the hard way. So if they've been able to get to this stage, going through that kind of difficult route. I mean, that's not luck. I mean, you know, so they've been because of the opponent they've met, they've come up with serious and you know, the kind of setup they've been able to, and it has been working for them. They play to their strengths. They know that, okay, this team, the good thing I like about them, they respect their opponents, so they play to their strength. They don't have to play to make you feel good. They have to come up with a formation that will frustrate you, and that has been working for them. You know, nobody gave them a chance. I mean, look at the Croatian team that defeated Brazil. I mean, if they tell you that team played against Morocco and did not score a goal, they've not even considered any goal. Nobody has scored against them apart from the own goal. So that's going to show that it's a very well-organized, neat, well-drilled team. So they've been playing to their strength. They don't have to play to suit you. They play for you. I want it about them that I've come to realize is they force you to play to their style. And I mean, anybody that is coming out to say they've been locked, they've been defensive, well, you just have to take it like that. That's the way they've been set up, and that it has been working for them. They're not going to change their formation for you. So nobody's going to tell me that they've been lucky. Especially, like I said, if you look at the route that they've followed to get to this stage, it has not been easy. So it would be unfair to say that they've been lucky. They've not been lucky, you know. So I believe that they are going to make the French team sweat, and the Varane has admitted to that. So they are going to have their work cut out. They're going to work really hard. If they're going to beat Morocco, they're going to sweat for it. They're going to work really hard for it, because Morocco is not going to make it easy for them. So that just.
Okay, James. We've talked about underdog in this competition. Do you think Spain and Portugal fell into the trap of thinking that they were favourites going into their game against Morocco? Because that is obviously what Rafael Varane is insinuating here. Because he said they have enough experienced players in the French team not to think that they are favourite going into the game against Morocco tomorrow. Do you think that was the bane of the Spanish and the Portuguese team when they faced Morocco?
No, I don't think they felt they were able to have it easy with Morocco, because I believe some of these players, they know of these guys. Look at the goalkeeper Bono. I think he was rated the best goalkeeper in Spain, so they know about him. They know about Ziyech. They know about what is it called? You know, they just know some of these guys. But fine, you want to give them, you want to keep them as favorites. You know, nobody expected them Morocco to come this far. You know, so whether they I don't think there was the kind of a trap which they fell. Morocco just, like I said, Morocco just played to their own strength. So maybe they just felt they didn't expect what they got from Morocco. That this thing can be this dogged, this thing can be this feisty, you know, you know. So I mean, so the more I think they were like the local panda, they took them to where they didn't, they don't know. So that was kind of, you know. So Morocco just came up with a plan that they thought with time they were able to break them down. But as the game went on, they felt like this is getting out of hand, you know. So that's just it. It's not as if they look down on Morocco or anything. But fine, you know, going to that game, everybody gave it to Spain and Portugal. Remember, I told you that the game against Portugal, I tipped Portugal to win. Not because they're going to overrun Morocco, but I just felt at some point they would
have
just,
the players to do the job, yeah.
you know, the thing just panned out the way it is. So I believe the French team must have watched those games and would not want to go. They don't want Morocco to take them to where they don't know. You know, so for me, is so that's just it's not a matter of whether they fell into a trap. You know, Morocco just played to their strength and it worked for them. So whether France will now allow them to play to that strength, that's another. And you know, nobody has scored against Morocco first. They've not considered first. So let's see how they're going to react if they concede against the French team first.
Okay. I remember we also said that ahead of their game against Portugal, that if the Portuguese scored first, it would be interesting to see how they will react. But it never happened, and I'm praying that it doesn't happen again against the French team. At least let's have an African team, the first African team in the final. Hi, I want to ask a question. Who is the Moroccan FA president? Do you know?
Yeah. Lecture. Fauzi lecture. Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen him in Qatar?
Yeah, he is in Qatar, but he's like just operating behind the scene. He
Okay,
is in
okay,
Qatar
Kayode.
because he's a
Okay,
member of the FIFA Council.
okay.
Apart from being the FA president, he's also a member of the FIFA Council. So he has legitimate reasons to be in Qatar, even if his
Okay.
country has not gone this far. But he's a young man, just 52 years old, a businessman, and
Wow.
he's also a member of the Moroccan cabinet. He holds a junior cabinet position in Morocco, a businessman who is relatively well to do. But above all, Femi, he has vision. He knows where he wants this team to go to. And I'm not talking about the national team, the
Okay.
many national team alone.
Kayode,
Morocco,
Kayode,
yep.
please, I want to ask a question.
All right.
There is something different about Morocco.
All right.
I know if it were a West African country,
Mm-hmm.
of course we saw Samuel Eto'o many times on the camera in Qatar, and Cameroon didn't even make it past the group stage. But there's something about them. Yesterday you talked about the system that they put in place.
Yeah.
The FA officials are not all over the place. You don't
No, they are
even
not.
I don't even know. I have to tell you, I have to confess, I don't even know the Moroccan FA president.
Yeah, it's
Here,
Fauzi
if the Super
Legja.
Eagles,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, thank you. If the Super Eagles had qualified for the semi-final of the World Cup, we know by now we'll have maybe had like 20 governors, 20 senators, 20 House
Exactly.
of Rep members in Morocco. So
Exactly.
what is so different about these people, Kyle? What do you think is so different about them?
We see, I think the proximity of Morocco to Europe, because they are just 9 nautical miles away from Spain, and they are not too far away from Portugal too. That has helped them with their organization, with the way they set out. They have European discipline in their. I'm talking about their football now. Then in terms of general life, they have this orderliness. If you've been to Morocco, Femi, you will be hard pressed to believe you are in an African country. You understand? The level of organization permeates everyday life. So you see that in everything that they do. The FA president, the FA itself is very, very unobtrusive. There's a plan up to academies, they have clubs at every level, they have a plan, they are intentional about it, Femi. And that's what I was trying to say in a Facebook post yesterday, that intention, not accident, brings success. You can just be lucky to get the success to do 12 things and you succeed in one. That's luck. Then when you are intentional, it may take you 12 years, but you are going to reap 12 results successfully. So that is what is different about them. Like you will actually noted, there's this unobtrusiveness about them. They do not. Okay, by now, Femi, have you heard the Moroccans complain about match bonus? If it were to be an a sub-Saharan African team, do you think everything would be like this? Even if there was a prior agreement that this is how much you're going to. Yep.
I read that Akim Ziyech has not collected a dime from Moroccan FA since 2015 when he started playing for the national team.
Okay. Yeah, that's part of the argument. On that score, Femi, I don't want to use that as a yardstick. People do things for different motivations. He might decide.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, he might decide not to collect. It doesn't make him a necessarily better man than those who do. Because I know of a certain Super Eagles player that ever since he also started playing for the Super Eagles in 2016, he collects, but he doesn't spend it. The moment he collects, he shares it out to people, but he doesn't make noise about it. There are others like that. So I'm not going to use that as yardstick. I'm saying generally that there's this organization, there's this pattern discipline about them. You don't see them talk about match bonuses. They like I keep saying, Femi, I've said this like 2-3 times. They are not African standard. The way they behave, the way they set up everything. No. I'm being honest now. I'm being honest. They are not African standard. Even the way they set out on the pitch. I mean, their tactical organization. I remember I told you something once. I said the former Cameroon coach, Hugo Boss, said something. He said if an African team, and I think his prophecy is coming to pass now, he said if an African team can just concentrate on football and football alone for 30 days without being distracted, that he is sure that 30 days without being distracted, no, and you see the kind of motivation that they have in place. Maybe it's not because they go to the semi-final and one money bag will now come and say, I promise you $30,000 for each goal you score. Those things do not motivate Femi. They distract. It is proven, Femi, that you cannot motivate players with that kind of money at that stage. If you're going to give them anything before the commencement of the competition, lay it out in black and white that, okay, if you get here, you get this, you get this. But the moment they win a match, everybody now comes and says, hey, if you score 2 goals, we'll give you $1 million. That has not helped anybody, Femi. And I'm talking especially about Nigeria here. It is not going to help anybody. By now, you would have seen Qatar flooded with a federal government delegation led by Agbada wearing no business in Qatar. People, it is well.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that. James, let's return to the game now. Yesterday, we also learned that Chouameni and Upamecano didn't train with the French national team. Like we also said that we've not heard from Walid Regragui if Romain Saïss will be available for that game. But I think this will cause some worry to DJ Deschamps if 2 of his key midfielders maybe they're carrying a knock into this game, or perhaps they will even be missing at all. Because when you don't have the likes of N'Golo Kante and of course Pogba in your team.
Yeah, well, I don't think it will really affect them because going to this World Cup, you saw the injury worries. Even when they got to Qatar, Nkuku got injured too, and they've been able to pull through. So I believe they have players who can come in and fill in the.
But I think they'll be more affected. They'll be more affected in the midfield because Pogba is missing, Kante is missing. So if you don't have Chouameni and Upamecano now, I think I do not know how many options available to Didier Deschamps apart from Rabiot. So who else?
Camavinga is there, the Real Madrid, the young midfielder. We saw what he did last season, when he was coming off the bench and was influencing games. So I think it is a big opportunity for him. He will not want to come in and miss the opportunity. I think he has played in the World Cup and the game against Tunisia, so he has the feel of the World Cup, So Chouameni, Camavinga, they're like almost like for like players. And even in defense too, I believe they were able to replace Upamecano. Upamecano has not really been too fantastic. I think Varane has really held that defense. So whoever is going to come in, I think you're going to slot in easily because you have an experienced head in Varane who is going to take control of everything and as an experienced player. So for me, I'm not really bothered about them. Like I said, despite the injury worries, the injuries to Benzema and N'Golo Kante, Pogba, they've been able to pull through and get to this stage. So I don't think, though it's not yet confirmed, though, that whether they are going to miss the game, maybe just knock or they're just being cautious, So, but I feel the injuries to them will not really affect the French team. But for Morocco, size is one big factor for the Moroccan team. He got a knock against Spain. I carried that same knock to face the Portuguese, and eventually he had to leave the pitch. So I don't know if he's going to be able to, recover on time. And like I said, they're going to miss Chedira, who got a red card. So if you want to look at the two teams now, who might be really affected, I think it has to be Morocco. They're going to miss the key player in their captain. Size has been immense for them. He has been very, very immense. So I don't know how
if he doesn't get to play in the end.
Exactly. So because you need that you can check out the French team. They still have their experienced players. The Mbappe is still there. Giroud is still there. What is it called? Antoine Griezmann is still there. So the big guys are still there, except from the upcoming ones who just suffered little knocks. But for Morocco, I don't know. I just hope, aside from size, I think another player, apart from the red card, another player is also down. So
I think about three of their defenders are out now.
Yeah, so it's like they're going to be a bit stretched this time. They're going to be a bit stretched. And the coach just has to come up with something that will be able to contain the French team, because, like we said, the French is they are not ready to go through the route that the likes of Spain and Portugal went through. They want to take care of business as early as possible. Okay. You know that the Moroccans who defend deep and try to hit them on the counter, and they will really, really be prepared for that.
Okay.
So for me, for the injury aspect, I think the French team they don't really have much problem to do. I think they have capable replacements. Those that will come in and fit in nicely. And for me, like I said, I'm still going to stick out my neck. I don't know. I will fall to the French team. I know everybody wants just like what I already said. Everybody love the underdogs, but being realistic now, I think this time they've gotten to their bus stop, honestly speaking, because they are getting stretched now. And it's not everything that you use that approach to and it's going to work all the time. You know, Argentina did in 1990. That was a very poor Argentina team, but they dragged themselves. They played negative football till they got to the final. Eventually, they lost to the best team. You know, so Morocco, the injury too is not helping matters. They're dropping down now, and I don't know how long they're going to keep on holding on. You know, so that's just it.
All right. Okay, James, please keep your predictions coming because it has not worked in this tournament. You said it against Spain, Portugal, and I hope it's going to happen against the French again. Kayode, as a roundup now, let's talk about Morocco. I think one thing the Moroccans have failed to do in this competition that I think it might hurt them against the French team is their finish, particularly maybe after getting their goal, then they sit back because we saw they lost a couple of chances against Spain and Portugal when they could have possibly even sealed the game and take the game beyond their opponent. And of course, this Walid Chedira is particularly guilty. He plays for Bari in the Italian Serie A. What do you think Reguagi has to do about that? Because in this game, we are playing the French. You do not even know how the game is going to pan out. It might just be one chance to nick it, and if you fail to get that done, you are going to be punished. So how do you think Reguagi will have to do something about that? And I remember yesterday also, Kyle, you talked about the European mentality that this team has. I went about Saki and I saw that 21 out of their 26 players they took to the World Cup were raised and born in Europe, were born and raised in Europe. Only one of them plays outside Morocco, then the other four, they play in Morocco. It's something that you can't, of course, there is no way you have to relate that this is what has helped this team. So those two questions quickly, Kyle, they have to round up.
Let me say first and foremost that it is now or never for Morocco. And Femi, I will take a team that misses chances because what you have, when you say a team misses chances, you have to take a walk back and see that for a team to miss chance, that means to miss some chances, that means the team is creating those chances in the first place. So it's better to create those chances and miss them than not to create them at all. So when you create on the offside chance, you can score one or two. So I'm happy that they are doing something right. Then the other part that they are not doing right, that's the conversion. I hope they get it right against France. So, and going back to the makeup of the team, well, I've talked about this, Femi, and that was why I was saying this is not African standard. They've shown it because, see, Femi, football education is fundamental. There are some things that once you pass certain levels, no matter how much they teach you, you will not understand it again. So because these guys grew up outside Africa, they had this education. I was having this discussion with someone, I think 2 days ago, and I said, football education is fundamental. Most of the players in our own academies are 20-something years old who have not been able to get a club, so they are hoping to use the age grade to get. But these guys started early. You see them starting as early as 5, 6, 7, and it is paying off for them now because that education that they have makes them very, very fearless. They do not fear any opposition. They run you ragged, Femi. And that energy, that burst of energy that they have, that you don't expect them to have, and they just bring up every time they play, I think gives them the edge every time they are on the pitch. But like James said, I'm going to agree with him that this could be a bridge too far for Morocco, although my heart beats for Morocco. I want them to win this game, and so I don't mind being wrong with this prediction, Femi. I want to be wrong. My head tells me France, but my heart wants Morocco to win. So if Morocco wins, that's my heart winning over my head. I will take it like that. But like I said, it is now or never for the Moroccans. It is now or never for Africa. They have come this far. And the good thing about this, Femi, let me quickly say is that all the 4 teams in the semi-finals, no one has an advantage. Each of them, they have equal chances of winning. There are things you could say in favor of each of these 4 that could make them emerge winner at the end of the day. So it's not as if one has a overwhelming edge over the others. No, Argentina,
other.
Croatia, Morocco, and France, they have equal powers, so to speak. So for me, that makes these two semifinals very, very promising. And at the end of the day, I hope, for the sake of Africa, and for the sake of the Moroccans too, because they've endured a lot, I hope they are able to win. That's me. That's my hope.
Okay, I totally agree with the European kind of football playing mentality, because I don't know, maybe it has to do with what other African teams are, especially in sub-Saharan West Africa, where countries are now running after players who are born in Europe. You know, they want them to come and bring the European flair. I wouldn't know. I'm just insinuating, perhaps that is what the same thing that they are looking forward to. So tomorrow, at the game between Morocco and France will be taking place at the Bayt Stadium, and it's going to be another cracker. I hope that it will end in Morocco's favor. Guys, thank you for coming on the show and for this wonderful analysis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Femi.
Yeah. So, fans around the world, of course, the 2020 FIFA World Cup is gradually coming to an end now. On the 18th, of course, we would know the new world champion. And I am praying that it is Morocco. I hope that tomorrow they will do enough against the French team, perhaps to be the first African country to play in the final, and who knows, to even win the competition. So we are wishing Morocco all the best, all from Nigeria Super Fans Forum. So until tomorrow, when we come around to talk about yesterday the World Cup in the game between Croatia and Argentina. That game takes place today. We'll see all of you. I remain Asha Lulu Afemi. See you there.